Circus Adventures of Mr. Magoo.
Put out the cat and wind the clock. 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 The mainspring. Oh, they don't build clocks like they used to. Oh, hello there. Hello, TV audience. Yes, indeed. Tonight's story of Rip Van Winkle has to do with the life of a henpecked husband and his nagging wife. Nag, nag, nag. All the time nag. So in desperation, Rip left the house and met the boys. Oh, I mean the elves. At the bowling alley up in the mountains. And you know how it is when you're out with the boys. I mean, out with the elves, yeah. Well, you know, one thing led to another, and Rip asked me. He got so very tired, and he lay down and went to sleep. He was just for 20 long.
Whoever has made a voyage up the Hudson must remember the Catskill Mountains, swelling up to a noble height and lording it over the surrounding country. Around the year 1760, when the country was still a province of Great Britain, there lived in this area a man named Rip Van Winkle. Rip was a simple, good-natured man, patient and long-suffering under the shrewish tongue of a termagant wife. His favorite retreat from her constant nagging was the solitude of these eternal hills.
Well, Wolf, I think it is a pleasant thing to rest a bit. I do believe that we've come much farther than I intended. Oh, poor Wolf boy. I fear there will be no supper for you this night. But on the other hand, old friend, neither will there be supper for me. However, neither will we be served a sermon. By George. And by the time we reach home, my good wife will be snoring in her feather bed. And that, you must admit, is worth an empty belly. Yes, it is, boy. Oh, yeah.
Rip Van Winkle!
Oh, did someone call my name? No. Oh, I must have imagined it. Not even her voice could reach this distance.
Rip Van Winkle!
Oh, why, it looks like naught but a neighbor in need of assistance. This is not a neighbor.
Rip Van Winkle!
Forgive me, friend. You are indeed a long way from home. Come now, Wolf. Down, boy. Behave, lad. Never fear, friend. He has little energy to snap at aught but a chop. Oh, here there. Yes. Let me give you a hand. Come along, Wolf. Come along.
As they clambered up a narrow gully, apparently the dry bed of a mountain stream, Rip and his companion labored on in silence. Rip marveled at what could be the object of carrying a keg up this wild mountain.
Whoa! What place is this? Bowling? Thunder? A game of 9 pins? Oh, what a strange place.
Rip Van Winkle!
No. Truly, friend, I do appreciate your hospitality, but I must be starting for home. You see, I have a wife at home who will skin me alive if the potatoes go cold.
Drink?
No, drink, no. Thank you very kindly, but I never indulge, you see. Dame Van Winkle, my wife, she doesn't...
Drink?
Well, yes, if you insist, I suppose I can't refuse you, but mind you, just a friendly sip. little party. Hey, the little fellas are having a party. It's the best party I've ever been to. Oh, no, thank you, friend. I have a wife at home. Have I ever told you about my wife? I haven't, will you? Oh, she's quite a woman. Yes, oh, she's quite a woman. You see, I live in a little village, not too far from this place. And my house, which is a little the worse for wear, lies just on the outskirts. For some time now, I've intended to get around to making some repairs. Something else always seems to interfere. And for some reason, my wife, Dame Van Winkle, she just doesn't seem to understand. She doesn't.
Out, Rip Van Winkle, out, I say. The very idea of a grown man loafing about as though he hadn't a care in the world. Fish and hunt, eat and sleep, hang around, never do a lick of work. When you just get yourself out there and get busy with that hoe and take that useless dog with you. You're enough like brothers, and that's the truth.
Get busy with it. Just look at that land, will you? It's not that I'm lazy. It's just no use to work this place. Get along out of here, corn cow, before Dame Van Winkle makes ash out of you. Look at it, the most pestilent little piece of ground in the whole country. Nothing ever goes right with it, no matter what I do, and that's the truth.
Rip Van Winkle.
Oh, good morning, neighbor Dunkle.
Could you help me, Rip? I can't seem to get very far with this stone.
Oh, say, that is a big one. Here. Let me do it, huh?
Thank you kindly, Rip.
This is one reason why I never seem to get around to performing my own chores. And it's the same thing with the ladies of the village. Oh, that's good morning, ladies.
Oh, Rip Van Winkle, would you be so kind as to run an errand for me?
Well, now I'd be happy to oblige, Dame Dutcher.
Would you match the thread for me, please, dear Rip Van Winkle?
No, gladly. Gladly, madam.
And would you mind returning this cake tin to Sarah Hendricks for me?
Rip Van Winkle! Rip Van Winkle! Where are you? You get to work this very minute. Do you hear me? Rip Van Winkle! You lazy, good-for-nothing loafer. And that goes for your good-for-nothing, ugly hound dog, too.
What a pity Dame Van Winkle doesn't appreciate him. She should be ashamed.
She should indeed.
Well, sometimes in order to escape the clamor of my wife and the labor of the farm, I take my gun in my hand and I stroll away into the woods with my good friend Wolf, with whom I deeply sympathize as a fellow sufferer in persecution. Oh, poor Wolf, thy mistress leads thee a dog's life of it. But never mind, my lad. Whilst I live, thou shalt never want for a friend to stand by thee. Hush, Wolf. We may have meat to bring home to Dame Van Winkle. Oh, it's no use, Wolf. The creatures will not sit still. Well, perhaps Dame Van Winkle will feed us something else. That could be.
What good are you? You do no work around the farm of this house. You cannot even as much as bring home meat for your poor starving children. Look at poor Rip and Judith, without a decent thing to wear. Yet you dare to come into my kitchen and expect me to give you some supper. There will be no supper for you or that dog tonight, or ever.
Oh, a tart temper never mellows with age, and a sharp tongue is the only edged tool that grows keener with constant use. You think that over. Is that not true, my friend? You know, in spite of my dear wife's low opinion of her spouse, I like to think that I have many friends in the village. And the friends that I love best, yes, are the children. You tell us a story, play marbles with us, let's go fishing. Oh, those little tykes. God bless them. Let me show you how a kite should be flown, children. Now, when I was a boy, I was the greatest kite flyer in the country. I remember a kite flying contest with, who was that? No, Ben Franklin. Yeah, with the glasses. I wonder what happened to old Ben.
Van Winkle, the very idea of a grown man with responsibilities wasting his time playing with children when he should be working on his dilapidated, rundown farm. Well, there'll be a day of reckoning, Rip Van Winkle. Just you wait and see.
And when Dame Van Winkle's sharp tongue becomes, well, almost unbearable, I frequently seek the safety of the King George Inn. It's a little, yes. Here one can enjoy the stimulating conversation of the local sages, philosophers, and other intellectual personages of the village. Do I make myself clear?
Well, it's been some time since we've seen a newspaper.
And it's only 5 months old. Oh, that's the best yet. Yes, yes, indeed.
Shall we have a reading?
Yes. Yeah, oh, that's a fine idea. Now, let's see. Well, now, if I had my spectacles, I would, well, since Schoolmaster Van Bommel has his glasses right handy, he might as well do the reading, would you?
It was announced today by the office of the Prime Minister that the enactment of the Sugar Act was imminent as a replacement for the Molasses Act. And local authorities have been advised that the ministry has decided to enforce the navigation laws. Tax the colonies directly and use the revenue to maintain an army in America.
That's taxation without representation.
Well, it seems to me to be a totally inequitable encroachment.
Well, that's right. I totally inequitably approach me.
Now then, next item.
So, there you are, Rip Van Winkle. You lazy, good-for-naught loafer. So this is where you are when you should be home, tending to your chores. I might have known you'd sneak off to be with your lazy loafer friends. Now, what have you worth your salt?
Oh, but my dear, I was just about to...
Don't you dare lie dear me, Rip Van Winkle.
My good woman, I do believe that...
Shut your mouth, schoolmaster. And as for you, Nicholas Feather, if you ran a proper establishment, there wouldn't be a place for loafers to loaf. Come along, you. You've wasted all the time you're going to waste with your idle friends.
I think we'd better delay this discussion for another time. It's...
Rip Van Winkle! Rip Van Winkle! Rip Van Winkle!
And now, my friend, you can see why I can no longer enjoy your hospitality. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, yeah. If you insist, I might as well make a real party of it. It's too late now to worry about Dame Van Winkle. Say, this is a party. I wish we had some corn around. We could have a husking bee. Yeah. Well, there's no corn, honey. Don't worry. We'll have a dance. Let's say a little dance. Oh, that does liven up a party. Dee-dee-dee-bye. And that's around. Well, very well. If you'd rather play at 9 pins, 9 pins it is. Back home in the village green, the boys call me 9-Pin Rip, king of the keglers. And here goes. Get out of here, you pesky bird. Oh, what's this? Surely a beard can't grow this long overnight. Oh, that wicked flagon. I knew it was a devil's brew the first time I tasted it. Oh, yes. That little man. At a party. And that flagon, that wicked flagon. Oh, my gun. Oh, they've taken my gun and put this relic in its place. These mountain beds do not agree with me. Oh, my head. What excuse will I make to Dame Van Winkle? No, well, I shall have to face her sooner or later. I've done it before, and I'll do it here. Now, where's that dog of mine? Wolf! Here, Wolf! Wolf! Here, Wolf! Come along, lad! Come along! You know, it could be that old wolf is more clever than his master. No doubt I will find him waiting for me at home on your doorstep.
As Rip approached the village, he was surprised at the way the countryside was altered. There were houses and farms which he had never seen before, and places that had been his familiar haunts had disappeared.
Yes, that flagging last night has addled my poor old head sadly. Hey, that looks like Farmer Dunkel with a new wagon. Good morning, Farmer Dunkel.
Good morning, stranger.
Stranger? How could I have mistaken him for Farmer Dunkel? I've never seen him before. Oh, good morning, neighbor.
Good morning, old man.
Hey, you're new around here, aren't you? I haven't seen your face before.
No, I've been working this same farm for 10 years.
10 years? I've passed this place at least 1,000 times, and I've never seen that man at all. Oh, what is happening? I must be addled.
It was with some difficulty that Rip found the way to his own house, which he approached with silent awe, expecting every moment to hear the shrill voice of Dame Van Winkle.
Dame Van Winkle? Dame Van Winkle? Dame Van Winkle? Judith! Son! Wolf! I just don't understand. Where can they be? Oh, she's left me and has taken the children. I'm getting my just reward. I should have listened to her and tended to my husbandly duties. My very dog has forgotten me. My friends. I must see my friends at once, and they will tell me where my family has gone. Oh! I must get around to fixing this porch one of these days. I've got to do a lot of things. I don't...
It's your sacred duty as an American to vote. If the members of Congress don't fight to get it passed, they lose my vote.
That's what Bunker Hill was about.
By heaven, he was one of the heroes of '76.
And now, which side did you vote on?
Are you a Federal or a Democrat?
I'm a Federalist.
But I don't understand. That's a strange-looking flag. Washington? Who is he? Pardon me, sir. Have you seen Nicholas Vedder or Derek Von Boomer?
Never heard of them. Are you a Federalist or a Democrat?
Alas, gentlemen, I am but a poor, quiet man, a native of this village, and a loyal subject of the king. God bless him.
A Tory is mine!
Silence! Silence, I say! This is an orderly voting place. Now then, suppose you tell me, where did you come from?
I mean no harm, sir. I merely came here in search of some of my friends. I thought they might tell me where to find my wife.
Well, who are these friends?
Well, where's Bram Dutcher and Van Boomer and Nicholas Vedder?
Nicholas Vedder? Why, Nicholas Vedder is dead and gone these 18 years. There was a wooden tombstone in the churchyard that used to tell all about him, but that's rotted and gone too.
And Bram Dutcher, you know him?
Oh, he went off to the army in the beginning of the war. He never came back.
Does anybody here know Rip Van Winkle?
Rip Van Winkle? Oh, to be sure. That's Rip Van Winkle yonder.
Oh, no. Oh, I am addled.
See here, fellow. Just who are you?
Well, heaven knows I'm not myself. I'm somebody else. That's me yonder? No, that's somebody else in my shoes.
Addled, all right.
Well, I was myself last night, but you see, I fell asleep on the mountain, and everything's changed, and I can't tell what's my name or who am I or anything. Please, young lady, you look vaguely familiar. May I ask your name?
Judith Gardenier.
Judith, and tell me, what was your father's name?
Oh, poor man. Rip Van Winkle was his name. But it's 20 years since he went away from home with his gun. His dog came home without him, but whether he shot himself or was carried away by the Indians, nobody can tell. I was then but a little girl.
Judith, and tell me, your mother?
She's gone too, poor woman. Just a year ago, she broke a blood vessel screaming at a New England peddler.
Oh, rest her soul. Hey, Judith, now, I am your father. Young Rip Van Winkle once, old Rip Van Winkle now. Does nobody know poor Rip Van Winkle?
Sure enough, it is Rip Van Winkle.
My father?
Yes, Judith.
Welcome home, old neighbor.
Oh, Father, poor dear father, where have you been?
Well, daughter, it's a long and incredible story. You see, I went up into the mountains.
To make a long story short, Rip's daughter took him home to live with her. She had a snug, well-furnished house and a stout, cheery farmer for a husband. Rip, having arrived at that happy age when a man can be idle with impunity, took his place once more on the bench at the inn door and was revered as one of the patriarchs of the village and a chronicler of the old times before the war.
And when I woke up, there I was, 20 years later. I didn't know what had happened. All I remembered was those little men and their strange game.
There he goes, telling that story again. Well, let him have his fun. He has a good imagination, I'll give him that.
I'm not so sure it's made up. I recall my grandfather, he used to tell of strange little men in the Catskills. Hendrick Hudson, he said, and his men playing at ninepins. Well, it could be.
So you see, friend, every time that you hear a clap of thunder...
So there you are, you lazy do-nothing loafer, spending your time lollygagging around the inn with your lazy friends while everyone else has to do your work. Now you just march yourself right home and get to your chores before another minute passes. And if I catch you down here again, you'd better watch out.
To this day, it is a common wish of all henpecked husbands in the neighborhood, when life hangs heavy on their heads, that they might have a quieting draft out of Rip Van Winkle's flagon.